The drone crashed at Amina Clarke's feet, its propellers bent and body cracked. Above her, Madison Wells' laughter cut through the air like glass. "Oops," Madison said, tossing her blonde hair as her friends snickered behind her. The courtyard fell silent as students watched. Nobody moved to help. Nobody ever did. Amina calmly picked up the broken pieces of her creation, tucking them into her maroon hoodie pocket. Her face betrayed nothing, but inside, something shifted. This wasn't just another drone they'd destroyed. This was the final straw, and they had no idea what she was capable of. Before we dive into this intense story, where are you watching from right now? Is it late at night with your headphones on? Or are you catching this during your lunch break? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to join our community of story lovers who appreciate powerful narratives about underdogs rising against all odds. Elite Preparatory Academy prided itself on excellence, but for Amina Clarke, it was just another battlefield. The sprawling campus with its ivy-covered walls and manicured lawns felt more like a prison than a privilege. Her mother worked 3 jobs to afford the tuition, believing this was Amina's ticket to a better future. "Keep your head down. Focus on your grades," her mother always said. And Amina did. For 3 years, she'd perfected the art of invisibility. She walked the halls with her hoodie up, eyes down, moving between classes like a ghost. Her perfect GPA existed on paper, but in the social hierarchy, she might as well not exist. That's how she preferred it. Because when people noticed Amina, bad things happened. In the privacy of the school's forgotten 3rd-floor storage room, Amina had created her sanctuary. Mr. Davenport, the tech teacher, had given her the key after discovering her rewiring the robotics lab's security system for fun last semester. "Just don't burn down the building," he'd said with a wink. Here, surrounded by discarded computer parts and outdated equipment, Amina came alive. Her fingers flew across keyboards. Circuit boards and wires transformed under her touch. Drones of her own design buzzed softly around her, each one smaller than the last, each one smarter. The smallest, barely larger than a dragonfly, perched on her finger. She called it Pixie. The drone's camera blinked, capturing her rare smile. "Today we test the new surveillance protocol," she whispered. At home, her bedroom walls were covered with code instead of posters. Her laptop held secrets that would make government security experts sweat. Not because she wanted to cause trouble, Amina just needed to understand how things worked, how systems could be broken and rebuilt, how power flowed. The bell rang, ending lunch period. Amina packed her equipment carefully, leaving no trace. As she slipped back into the stream of students, she felt eyes on her back. Madison Wells and her friends, the self-proclaimed Jade Trio for their matching green jackets, watched her from across the hall. Madison whispered something, and the others laughed. Their eyes burned with casual cruelty. Amina pulled her hood lower. 3 months until graduation. Then she'd be free of this place forever. What she didn't know was that Madison had noticed her sneaking to the 3rd floor, had become curious about what the school's charity case was hiding, had decided it was time to have some fun with the weird girl who never fought back. And Amina didn't realize that her tiny drone Pixie, following its programmed surveillance route, was silently recording everything, including plans that would soon turn her carefully controlled world upside down. The next day started like any other. Amina slipped through crowded hallways, invisible by choice, until Madison's designer boot shot out, sending Amina crashing to the floor. Her backpack spilled open, revealing circuit boards and tiny components. "What's all this junk?" Madison asked, picking up a partially built drone. "Playing with toys?" Amina reached for it. "Give it back." "Or what?" Madison held it higher, tossing it to Bree, another Jade Trio member. "Does the scholarship case think she's some kind of genius?" Amina stood, something dangerous flashing in her eyes. "It's none of your business." "It is now," said Madison, grabbing the drone back. With deliberate cruelty, she crushed the delicate electronics in her manicured hand. Whispers rippled through the gathering crowd. Nobody intervened. Not even when Amina's eyes welled with tears she refused to shed. Mr. Davenport turned the corner, saw the scene, then checked his watch. "Everyone get to class," he said flatly, walking away. Amina gathered her destroyed creation. A month's work ruined in seconds. She felt something snap inside, not breaking, but aligning, like circuits finally connecting. That afternoon, things escalated. As Amina opened her locker, her phone buzzed with notifications. Someone had created an account called Charity Case on social media, posting doctored photos of Amina sleeping in class, picking through trash, begging for money. The comments were worse. Students she'd never spoken to laughing at her, tagging friends, sharing widely. In the bathroom, hiding in a stall, Amina shook with rage rather than tears. She'd endured 3 years of whispers and isolation. Now they wanted to humiliate her publicly? When she returned to her sanctuary, she found the door ajar. Inside, chaos. Her equipment scattered, her backup drive missing. On the whiteboard, in looping pink handwriting, "Found your little hideout, freak." Amina stood in the wreckage, something cold and calculating replacing her hurt. She noticed what they hadn't. Her main laptop was hidden in a ventilation panel. And Pixie, her smallest drone, was programmed to return to its charging dock regardless of interruptions. That evening, instead of homework, Amina reviewed Pixie's footage. Madison and her friends vandalizing her workspace, laughing, taking selfies with her destroyed projects. But they'd missed something crucial. In the corner of the frame, barely visible, Mr. Davenport watching them enter her sanctuary earlier that day. Doing nothing. Again. "Systems fail when good people do nothing," Amina whispered, remembering her mother's words. She opened a new file on her laptop, titled it Truth Protocol. Madison thought she'd found Amina's hideout, but she had no idea what she'd really found, an opponent worth fearing. The courtyard confrontation happened 3 days later. Madison cornered Amina during lunch, her friends forming a half-circle. Students gathered to watch the entertainment. "I heard you've been crying to teachers about your broken toys," Madison said loudly. "Poor baby." Amina stood still, arms crossed. "I haven't said anything to anyone." "Good. Because nobody would believe you anyway." Madison leaned closer. "My dad is on the school board. My mom runs the fundraising committee. You're nothing but charity." What Madison didn't notice was the tiny dragonfly-sized object hovering near Amina's shoulder. Pixie, upgraded with better sound recording. "Are you finished?" Amina asked quietly. The calm response confused Madison. "What's wrong with you? Are you some kind of robot?"
"No."
"I'm just done being afraid of you." Madison's face darkened. She shoved Amina hard, sending her stumbling backward. "You should be afraid." Amina regained her balance. "Every system has vulnerabilities, Madison. Even you. Is that a threat?" From the girl who hides in storage closets playing with junk. Something changed in Amina's expression. A small, dangerous smile. "It's not a threat. It's a fact. I'm not hiding anymore." That night, Amina didn't sleep. Her fingers flew across 3 keyboards simultaneously. School records, security systems, social media accounts, all had backdoors if you knew where to look. What she found shocked even her. Madison and her friends had been cheating for years. Stolen test answers. Plagiarized essays. But more disturbing, evidence that Mr. Davenport had been helping them, changing grades, in exchange for donations to his tech startup. Amina created secure folders for everything. Evidence. Timestamps. Backups of backups. The next morning, she approached Zoe Chun in the library. Quiet, artistic Zoe who watched everything but said little. "I need your help," Amina said, sliding into the seat across from her. Zoe looked up from her sketchbook. "Why would I help you?" "Because they stole your art last semester and submitted it as their own. I found the evidence." Zoe's eyes widened. "How did you?" "I noticed things, and I'm tired of watching them destroy people." After a long pause, Zoe asked, "What do you need?" "Access to the yearbook committee's cloud account, and someone who isn't afraid to speak the truth." For the first time in 3 years, Amina wasn't alone in her fight. The alliance with Zoe opened doors to others, kids who'd suffered silently under Madison's reign. A network was forming, invisible but growing. That afternoon, Madison found a QR code taped inside her locker. When scanned, it showed only a countdown clock. 10 days. "What is this?" she demanded when she cornered Amina later. Amina smiled. "Systems have expiration dates, Madison. Yours just happens to be in 10 days. As she walked away, Amina felt Madison's fear for the first time. Tasted like justice. But neither girl noticed Principal Holloway watching their interaction with narrowed eyes. Phone pressed to his ear, whispering, "We might have a situation with the Clarke scholarship student." 7 days until the countdown ended. Amina's network had grown to 5 students, all victims of the Jade Trio's cruelty. Each brought unique skills. Zoe's artistic talents, Marcus's position on the school newspaper, Darius's audio expertise, and Naya's social connections. "We're calling ourselves the Truth Protocol now," Amina explained, showing them their secure messaging system. "Everything we discuss stays between us." "What exactly are we doing?" Marcus asked nervously. Amina projected her screen onto the wall of their new meeting spot, an abandoned photography darkroom. "Madison and her friends have been terrorizing students for years, while the administration looks away. We're going to expose everything." She showed them evidence. Stolen test answers, fabricated community service hours, cyberbullying accounts traced back to the Jade Trio's devices. "This is bigger than bullying," Amina continued. "Principal Holloway has been covering up complaints because Madison's father threatens to pull donations. 3 teachers have quit over it." Darius whistled. "You found all this yourself?" "My drones did," Amina said, as Pixie buzzed around the room. "They've been gathering data for months." The group began coordinating their roles. Zoe designed graphics visualizing the evidence. Marcus drafted the exposé.
Darius enhanced audio recordings.
Naya mapped the social hierarchies they needed to influence. But as they worked, strange things started happening. Amina's school account got flagged for suspicious activity. The security cameras near their meeting place mysteriously malfunctioned. Mr. Davenport began asking pointed questions about Amina's extracurricular projects. "They're watching us," Amina told the group. Someone tipped them off. The pressure increased. Madison and her friends became more openly hostile, shoving Amina in hallways, accidentally spilling drinks on her projects. During class, Amina received an anonymous text, "Back off or your mother's scholarship recommendation gets revoked." That night, she stayed late coding, strengthening their security. A noise at the door made her freeze. "Working hard, I see." Mr. Davenport stood in the doorway. Amina closed her laptop. "Just homework." He stepped closer. "You know, I've always admired your talent, Amina. But talent without direction can be problematic. What do you want?" "To help you." His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Madison's father mentioned you've been bothering his daughter. Is that what she said?" "The Wells family has donated millions to this school. They've funded my entire tech department." He leaned against a desk. "Some battles aren't worth fighting. Some are." Amina stood her ground. "Be careful. Your scholarship review is coming up." He walked to the door, pausing. "Talented students like you should focus on their future, not distractions." After he left, Amina discovered her backup drive was missing from her bag. The one she'd carelessly left visible. Racing back to her sanctuary, she checked the hidden camera she'd installed after the break-in. The footage showed Mr. Davenport searching the room, pocketing her drive, then leaving with a satisfied smile. She immediately messaged the group. They took the bait. Countdown moves to tomorrow. What the teacher didn't know: the stolen drive contained carefully crafted misinformation. The real plan was stored elsewhere, on systems he couldn't access. The game had changed. What started as exposing bullies had uncovered something far more corrupt. And Amina was now playing 3 steps ahead. The next morning, chaos erupted. Someone had hacked the school's announcement system, playing clips of Madison and her friends mocking students, teachers, even Principal Holloway, their most vicious comments broadcasted for all to hear. Students gathered in shocked clusters, whispering. The Jade trio looked horrified, denying everything. Amina watched from a distance, frowning. This wasn't part of her plan. The countdown hadn't ended. Someone had jumped the gun. Her phone buzzed with panicked messages from her team. None of them had done this. Then a new message appeared from an unknown number. Like my surprise? We want the same things. Let's talk. B. Before she could respond, Principal Holloway's voice crackled over the PA system. Amina Clarke, report to my office immediately. The main office felt like a trap. Madison and her friends sat in a row, faces streaked with tears. Mr. Davenport stood in the corner, arms crossed. Principal Holloway sat behind his desk, Amina's stolen backup drive in front of him. Explain this, he demanded. My private property that was stolen from me, Amina replied calmly. After examining its contents, we have reason to believe you hacked our systems this morning. I didn't. The evidence suggests otherwise. He gestured to the drive. Planning to publicly humiliate fellow students. Unauthorized access to private records. This could be grounds for criminal charges. Madison spoke up, voice trembling dramatically. She's been stalking us for months. Those weird drone things following us. She's obsessed. Amina stayed silent, mind racing. Someone was setting her up, using her own plans against her. Mr. Davenport recognized the coding style immediately. Principal Holloway continued. He says it matches assignments you've submitted. The tech teacher nodded grimly. The methods are identical to projects you've worked on. That's when Amina understood. They weren't just accusing her. They were framing her with falsified evidence. The stolen drive had been tampered with. May I see what you're claiming I created? She asked. The principal turned the laptop toward her. The code displayed wasn't hers, but it was designed to look like her work, with her signature commenting style. Someone who knew her code intimately had created this. This isn't mine, she said. We've contacted your mother and the police, Principal Holloway announced. Until this investigation concludes, you're suspended. Your scholarship is under review. Amina felt the room spin. Her mother couldn't afford this school without the scholarship. Everything she'd worked for was crumbling. As security escorted her out, she passed Zoe in the hallway. Their eyes met briefly. Zoe's expression was strange. Guilty, afraid, pleading. Outside, another text arrived. Sorry about the rush job. Had to move things up. Meet me behind the gym if you want to salvage this. B. Following the message, Amina found not a mysterious ally but Madison's younger brother Blake waiting for her. A sophomore with a reputation for being quiet. Nothing like his sister. You're B? She asked incredulously. I've been watching you, he said. I know what my sister does to people. So you decided to ruin my life instead? I'm trying to help. They were onto you. I had to act first. By framing me? By giving them what they expected. He handed her a flash drive. I made a copy of everything on your backup before they altered it. And I planted something on Madison's laptop they don't know about. Amina stared at him suspiciously. Why would you betray your own sister? His expression darkened. Because last year she did the same thing to my best friend. Got him expelled when he stood up to her. He couldn't handle it. Ended up in the hospital. The pieces clicked. Jamie Chin, Zoe's brother. Blake nodded. I've been waiting for someone strong enough to take them down. You built an army. I just sped things up. As they talked, Amina's phone lit up with messages from her team. Their meeting spot had been discovered. Equipment confiscated. Zoe was being questioned. Their revolution was falling apart before it began. Amina's mother's disappointment was worse than any punishment. I work 3 jobs for this opportunity, she said quietly in their small apartment. What were you thinking? They're lying, Mom, Amina insisted. I'm being framed. The principal showed me the evidence. Your teacher confirmed it. Mr. Davenport is corrupt. He's part of it. Her mother sighed, looking suddenly older. Amina, you've always seen conspiracies where there are just people. Not everyone is against you. But
No.
You need to take responsibility. Write an apology. Maybe they'll reconsider the suspension. Later that night, Amina stared at her ceiling, mind racing. Her devices had been confiscated. Her allies scattered. Her reputation destroyed. Everything she'd built had crumbled in hours. Her phone, her personal one they hadn't known to take, buzzed with a message from Blake. They're deleting evidence. Zoe broke under pressure. Told them everything. Another betrayal. Amina closed her eyes, feeling utterly defeated. Then another message. But I backed everything up. And there's something you need to see about Davenport. The next day, wearing a disguise of Zoe's brother's clothes and a baseball cap, Amina met Blake at the public library. He showed her what he'd found. Mr. Davenport wasn't just helping students cheat. He was stealing their work, including Amina's. He's been submitting your algorithms to tech competitions under his name, Blake explained, showing her the applications. He's won grants, recognition, all with your code. The betrayal cut deep. Davenport had been the one teacher she'd trusted, who'd recognized her talent. There's more, Blake continued. My father doesn't know, but Madison's been blackmailing Davenport for years. She found out about his theft and used it to get test answers, grade changes, whatever she wanted. How do you know all this? I installed one of your monitoring programs on her laptop after studying your code. You're not the only one who understands systems. Amina. For the first time, she saw Blake clearly. Another lonely genius hiding in plain sight. We need to rebuild, she said finally. But I've lost my team, my evidence, everything. Not everything, Blake corrected. Your drones have been collecting data independently, right? Where does that footage back up? Amina's eyes widened. The cloud server. They don't know about my private cloud. And I've got admin access to the school's security system through my dad's credentials. Hope flickered, but Amina hesitated. Why should I trust you? Your sister destroyed everything I care about. Because I know what it's like to live in Madison's shadow. To watch her hurt people and get away with it. His voice cracked. Because Jamie Chun tried to kill himself after what she did. And nobody held her accountable. The weight of his words hung between them. We need Zoe back, Amina said finally. Even if she broke. She's afraid. Her family can't afford problems with the school. Then we need to give her something more powerful than fear. Amina pulled out a piece of paper, began sketching a new plan. Something that makes standing up worth the risk. As they worked, Amina's phone buzzed with a school email. Her suspension hearing was set for Monday, just 3 days away. The message ended with a warning that any further activity would result in permanent expulsion and potential criminal charges. They were running out of time. We need to be perfect, she told Blake. One mistake and it's over. What she didn't say, she was terrified. Not just of failure, but of the darkness she felt growing inside her. The desire not just for justice, but for revenge. For making them all suffer as she had suffered. That night, alone in her room, Amina faced the hardest question. What kind of person did she want to be when this was over? Sunday night, 24 hours before the hearing that would decide her future. Amina sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, surrounded by backup equipment she'd hidden from the school's search. 3 laptops connected to portable servers. A new drone prototype hovering silently above her. The pieces were coming together, but barely. Blake had managed to recover most of their evidence. More importantly, he'd convinced Zoe to meet them. The cafe was nearly empty when Zoe slid into the booth, eyes red from crying. I'm sorry, she whispered. They threaten my scholarship too. My parents can't. I understand, Amina interrupted. I'm not angry. They're saying they'll press charges against anyone who helped you, Zoe continued. Criminal charges, Amina. They're bluffing. Are they? Principal Holloway showed me the police report they filed. Blake leaned forward. It's fake. My dad would know if real charges were filed. They're scaring you. Zoe looked between them. Why should I risk everything again? Amina opened her laptop, turned it toward Zoe. On screen was a college acceptance letter. NYU School of Arts. Full scholarship. Zoe's eyes widened. What is this? I submitted your portfolio to their special consideration program. This arrived yesterday. How did you get my portfolio? I've been backing up everyone's work for months, Amina explained. After Madison stole your designs last semester, I wanted to make sure you had proof of your original work. Tears filled Zoe's eyes. This is real. Completely. No matter what happens tomorrow, you have this. They can't take it away. Something shifted in Zoe's expression. Fear giving way to resolve. What do you need me to do? As they finalized their plan, Amina felt a strange calm. Beyond the school's walls, she created opportunities for her friends that no one could revoke. Marcus had an interview with the city newspaper. Darius had a producer interested in his music. She'd given them each something more powerful than their fear. Back home, Amina's mother knocked on her door. Principal Holloway called again. They're offering to drop everything if you just apologize and name your accomplices. I can't do that. Her mother sat beside her. Amina, this school is your future. Your ticket to college, to the life we've worked for. Mom, they've been hurting people, covering it up. If I stay silent, it continues. Sometimes the world isn't fair. You can't fix everything. Amina looked at her mother, the woman who'd sacrificed everything for her daughter's education. You always taught me to stand up for what's right, no matter how hard. I also taught you to pick your battles wisely. This is the right battle, Mom. Tomorrow you'll understand. That night, Amina sent one final message to her rebuilt network. Truth protocol activates at 10 a.m. No matter what happens in that hearing, don't interfere. The system will do its job. At dawn, she uploaded the final algorithm, an elegant, untraceable program that would activate on its own. No human intervention needed. As she walked to school for her hearing, Amina carried only one small device in her pocket. Not to execute her plan that was already in motion, but to make a choice when the moment came. A choice between justice and vengeance. Between exposing the truth and destroying lives. Between being the person they thought she was and the person she wanted to become. Madison and her friends watched Amina cross the courtyard, their smirks confident. Mr. Davenport observed from the steps, face unreadable. Principal Holloway waited by the door. None of them realized that in exactly 47 minutes, nothing would ever be the same. The hearing room felt like a courtroom, with Principal Holloway as judge and jury. Madison and her friends sat with their parents, powerful, well-dressed adults who radiated influence. Mr. Davenport presented the evidence against Amina, his voice confident as he described her dangerous technical violations. Amina sat alone. Her mother had been delayed by a work emergency, or so the secretary claimed when she called that morning. Ms. Clarke, Principal Holloway began, the evidence against you is substantial. Before we proceed, I'll offer one final opportunity to admit your actions and accept the consequences. Amina checked her watch.
9:58 morgens.
What exactly am I being accused of? Hacking school systems, surveillance without consent, cyberbullying, theft of private information. The list goes on. Interesting, Amina said calmly. And your evidence is a drive Mr. Davenport stole from my bag, containing code he claims I wrote? Madison's father leaned forward. Young lady, your attitude isn't helping your case.
9:59 morgens.
With respect, sir, I don't believe this is about my attitude. It's about truth. About systems that protect some people and punish others. This is exactly the kind of paranoid thinking, Mr. Davenport began. Amina cut him off. Did you know your daughter has been blackmailing Mr. Davenport for 2 years, Mr. Wells? That she found out he's been stealing student work, including mine, and claiming it as his own. The room erupted. Madison turned pale. Her father demanded proof.
10 Uhr morgens.
Throughout the building, screens flickered. Phones buzzed with notifications. The school's emergency alert system activated. In the hearing room, the large monitor on the wall came to life unprompted. A simple message appeared. Truth protocol activated. What followed was systematic devastation. Split-screen footage showed Madison and her friends destroying Amina's projects alongside evidence of them stealing test answers. Audio recordings revealed Principal Holloway dismissing bullying complaints because the Wells family donated the science wing. Most damning, patent applications showing Mr. Davenport's theft of student innovations, alongside emails between him and Madison arranging grade changes. "What is this?" Principal Holloway demanded, trying to shut off the monitor. "This is what happens when you push the quiet girl too far," Amina said softly. Outside, they could hear commotion. The same evidence was playing on every screen in the school. Students gathered in hallways, watching open-mouthed. Parents who had arrived for the hearing were seeing everything on their phones. Madison lunged toward Amina. "You're dead. Do you hear me? Dead." Her father grabbed her arm. "Madison, stop. Now." Mr. Davenport tried desperately to explain. "This is obviously fabricated. She's framing us just like we said." But the evidence was too comprehensive, too irrefutable. Each clip time-stamped, each document authenticated. Then the screen changed to one final video. Madison and her friends planning their attack on Amina's reputation. "We'll destroy her," Madison's voice rang clearly. "My dad will make sure she loses her scholarship. That charity case will be back in the ghetto where she belongs." The silence that followed was deafening. This was Amina's moment of triumph, of vengeance. She could let the final part of her program activate, sending everything to local news, to college admissions offices, to law enforcement. One button on the device in her pocket would destroy their futures completely. She looked at Madison, now sobbing as her carefully constructed world collapsed. At Mr. Davenport, pale and sweating. At Principal Holloway, watching his career implode in real time. The room held its breath. Amina took out the device. Everyone flinched. "There's more," she said quietly. "Much worse. Evidence that would end more than just high school careers." Madison's father spoke, voice shaking. "What do you want?" Amina pressed a button. The screens went black. Justice, not destruction. Real change, not revenge. She stood, addressing the room. New anti-bullying policies with actual enforcement. A scholarship fund for students from my neighborhood. And independent oversight of academic integrity. For students and faculty. She turned to Madison. "And you'll work with a campus mental health initiative. You'll learn what your actions do to people." "Or what?" Principal Holloway asked weakly. Amina smiled. "Or I pressed the other button." As if on cue, the door opened. Amina's mother entered, followed by a woman in a business suit. "This is Ms. Rodriguez from the Department of Education," her mother announced. "She's very interested in what's happening here today." Amina had made her choice. Not the easy path of complete destruction. Not the passive path of submission. She'd chosen the hardest path of all. Justice with mercy. Accountability with opportunity for redemption. As the adults began negotiating terms, Madison approached Amina. "Why didn't you destroy us completely?" she whispered. "You could have." Amina looked her directly in the eyes. "Because I'm not like you. I never was." 3 months later, Elite Prep's courtyard looked the same, manicured lawns, ivy-covered walls, but everything else had changed. Where Amina once walked alone, she now moved with purpose, surrounded by a diverse group of students. The Tech Equity Club she'd founded had become the school's most popular extracurricular activity, with students from all backgrounds learning coding, digital ethics, and system design. "The drones need calibration before Friday's demonstration," she told her team, which included several former tormentors now working under her guidance. "I've got it," said Blake, who had emerged from his sister's shadow to become Amina's most trusted lieutenant. Madison was there too, quieter now, her green jacket replaced with the club's blue hoodie. The transformation hadn't been immediate or easy. There had been resistance, tears, and setbacks. But as part of her rehabilitation program, Madison was learning to use her social skills for community building rather than destruction. "The middle school workshop needs more volunteers," Madison said, not quite meeting Amina's eyes. "Add me to the list," Amina replied with a nod of approval. Mr. Davenport was gone, facing professional censure and legal action for intellectual property theft. In his place, the school had hired 2 new tech teachers, both women of color with industry experience, who recognized Amina's talent immediately and were helping her patent her innovations properly. Principal Holloway remained, humbled and under supervision from a new school board ethics committee. The Wells family's influence had diminished but not disappeared. They channeled their resources toward making amends, funding the scholarship program Amina had demanded. After class, Amina found Zoe working on designs for their app interface. "NYU called again," Zoe said with a smile. "They want to feature my portfolio in their prospective student showcase." "You deserve it," Amina replied, genuinely happy for her friend. As they walked together, Amina spotted a younger student being cornered by 2 boys near the science building. Without hesitation, she changed direction, approaching them with confident steps. "Everything okay here?" she asked, her presence immediately shifting the dynamic. The boys stepped back. "We were just talking." The younger girl gave Amina a grateful look. "Thanks," she whispered. As the boys walked away, Amina handed the girl a card with the Tech Equity Club information. "If you ever need a place to belong," she said simply. That evening, as Amina packed up her equipment, her mother arrived to pick her up. She no longer needed to work 3 jobs. The comprehensive scholarship package Amina had negotiated covered not just her education but provided a family stipend as well. "I got the acceptance letter today," Amina told her mother in the car. "Mit. Full ride." Her mother grabbed her hand, eyes glistening. "I always knew you could do anything. I couldn't have done it without you standing by me." Amina squeezed back. "Even when you weren't sure what I was fighting for." At home, Amina received one last message for the day, from Madison of all people. "My brother told me what you did, that you could have sent everything to the police but didn't. I don't understand why, but thank you." Amina thought carefully before responding. Systems only change when people do. Some need to be torn down. Others need space to rebuild. As she looked out her window at the night sky, Amina reflected on how far she'd come. From the girl who hid in storage rooms to the architect of a new system. From someone who feared her power to someone who wielded it with responsibility. The tiny drone Pixie buzzed gently near her shoulder, its camera capturing her smile. No longer rare, no longer hidden. Her phone buzzed with messages from her team, planning tomorrow's projects. Amina Clarke was no longer alone, no longer invisible unless she chose to be. She had created something greater than revenge, a legacy of change that would outlast her time at the school. And in doing so, she had discovered her own true power was not in the systems she could break, but in the ones she could build. And that's the end of our story. Remember, true power isn't measured by our capacity to destroy, but by our choice to build something better instead. Amina could have erased her enemies with a single click, but she chose the harder path of transformation. Sometimes the most revolutionary act isn't tearing everything down. It's creating space for something new to grow from the ashes of what was broken. What would you have done in Amina's position at that final moment? Pressed the button for complete revenge or chosen the path she did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of brilliant resilience and justice with mercy, hit subscribe for more powerful narratives. And check out our next awesome story.